Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. We brought you the powerful story of a domestic violence survivor. And tonight, the new war. The brave cops tracking down offenders, knocking on doors. It's not pretty, but as you're about to see, it's keeping families safe. Here's crime editor Simon Boda's exclusive report.
Hey, open the door!
They're hunting a potentially dangerous domestic violence offender.
Please! Please!
While the alleged victim cowers on a couch, terror etched on her face, tactical police search the flat. The woman's asked to stand up, and there, hiding under the sofa, the target. Quickly overpowered, he's frog-marched outside.
Because these offenders will run, they will be violent, and they will do anything to not be arrested.
Got no tolerance for it.
We need to target them and we need to remove them from society.
We've had the war on bikies. This is the war on domestic violence.
I've spent the last 5 years chasing organised crime, and the volume involved in domestic family violence is it's 5 times anything in the world of crime response for the New South Wales Police Force.
This is a complex area, and often the violence is perpetrated by someone that they love and trust, and so that they continue to love them and unfortunately may trust them, but at their own peril.
It's the whole cycle of violence. You know, the victim, is assaulted, and then the offender comes back, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. They're all happy again until it happens the next time. A lot of the time, the victims that we're dealing with, they don't have much of a support network, so they feel like they have to go back to their partner because they've got no one else.
Stop!
Where is he?
Where is he? No!
In recent weeks, several women have allegedly died at the hands of their partners.
Good evening. 2 children are now without their mother after her life was allegedly taken in a horrifying domestic violence incident.
Just 2 weeks ago, 28-year-old Dana Isaac was found dead in her Western Sydney home, her boyfriend charged. Just before Christmas, 31-year-old teacher Danielle Finlay Jones was found dead. A man she met on a dating website has been charged with her murder. Then came the murder of 64-year-old Lindy Lucina at Ballina on the New South Wales North Coast on January 4. Her alleged killer breached an AVO.
How do you react to that personally?
It actually breaks my heart, because I think that's a whole family now that has to grapple with the loss of an innocent life.
The statistics are staggering.
Out of the 252 intimate partner homicides reviewed by the coronial death review team, there were 267 kids left behind. It's the fallout from when we don't win, when we don't succeed. There's a lot happening in this space. It's going to be a busy year.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't have a racial group, it doesn't have an age group, it doesn't have a social economic group. It is a problem, an insidious crime that we've got to deal with as a community.
Take a closer look at the New South Wales stats from last year. 33,000 assault investigations, 21,000 AVO non-compliance offences, 30,000 offenders arrested and 40,000 charges laid. The hunt for abusers is relentless. Today, a 26-year-old wanted not only for domestic violence against his partner, police claim he also assaulted his father. But even as police drag him away, his partner sobs.
I love you too.
There's no downtime.
He's got AVO on bail. We arrested him last week. He's a high-risk offender.
A routine AVO check of another offender reveals he's not where he's supposed to be.
Are you sure he's not here?
Lo and behold, he's at the victim's home. The target bolts.
I got it!
Police swarm. A chase over backyard fences ends nearby.
We've got 2 trucks on their way. They will be about 15 though.
Both a 30-year-old and his 19-year-old partner arrested for breaching AVOs taken out by the other. New South Wales Assistant Commissioner Stuart Smith is spearheading the latest attack on domestic violence.
There's a lot of work being done around coercive control, and obviously the problem for us, like any other state, we've had 17,000 repeat victims last year. That's 17,000 victims that the police needed to visit more than 3 times to deal with the matter.
He helped set up Strikeforce Raptor, which targeted outlaw motorcycle gangs. That pressure saw many bikies flee Australia.
We need a Raptor-style approach to a perpetrator that won't comply with court orders. You know, sometimes a predator, the only thing they understand, the only thing they have clear in their mind is a bigger predator.
Who's the bigger predator?
And it may well be that, you know, we need to ramp up the way we deal with perpetrators.
On the front line of this fresh attack are cops attached to the domestic violence high-risk offender teams.
He had his wife and child held hostage in that house.
A lot of the time, if the offenders know that the victim is taking out the AVO, then, you know, that could cause them more harm and more injury.
Detective Inspector Michelle Ritchie heads up the team in southwestern Sydney, hunting the most dangerous DV perpetrators.
More often than not, the victims are complicit in it and they know where the offenders are. They are actually hiding the offenders.
It's policing which is beyond complex.
The police have to take the power back from the victims.
That means police stepping in to take out apprehended domestic violence orders.
If we know that that victim is at risk, we will take out an apprehended violence order, whether or not the victim wants it or not.
We keep seeing it. They feel that they have to stay in a violent relationship. And we need to make sure that we understand what's wrong with that, what do we need to do with that, how do we need to empower those victims. And one of them is to remove the perpetrator, you know, from the problem.
This is what they call the wall of shame. Every one of these offenders have been locked up, and that's just in the past 6 months.
These offenders are committing, you know, serious, grievous bodily harm injuries to victims.
And the perpetrators will go to extraordinary lengths to avoid capture.
We've had offenders, you know, falling through roofs, hiding in the closets, hiding under the bed, hiding under the lounges. They will do anything to get away.
As boss of the Domestic Violence High-Risk Offenders team, Michelle Ritchie has come across some horrific cases. One of the worst, a man and woman accused of holding their 14 children captive, beating and sexually assaulting them.
The ages ranged from, you know, a baby, a few-month-old baby, up until about 19 years of age.
Both parents have been charged. Members of the squad keep in touch with the children to make sure they're okay.
They've been able to start a new life now, and so that's really rewarding.
The high-risk domestic violence team tackles those highest risk offenders, and we've got to start with that. We've got to prioritise those because they're the ones that we're most concerned about.
Karen Webb has worn the New South Wales Police Commissioner's uniform for a year. Domestic violence, a key priority.
The statistics often quoted is that there's, I think it's one woman is murdered every 10 days by an intimate partner. That's, to me, that's just astounding. That's nationally, that's just astounding, isn't it?
I know, and it's a tragedy, and we need to do whatever we can collectively to stop that.
With civilian domestic violence support experts now embedded with police, the Commissioner knows it's a problem the police can't tackle alone.
It's one that we are challenged with as a police force, but it's not just a policing problem. It's a society and a community issue, and we need to tackle it together.
When one offender is arrested, there's more to be arrested, that's for sure.
Perpetrators in this are cowards. They're not a person that you should fear. We need to deal with it.
As a human being, as a person, not as a commissioner, what's your opinion of a person who can raise their hand to someone they love?
If you have to raise your voice, raise your hand. control, stalk, intimidate, all those forms of domestic violence. I don't understand it.
Wow, incredible work there by our police, and still though, we're seeing far too many victims. And if you're someone you know needs help, there is support available. Call 1-800-RESPECT, that's 1-800-737-732.